What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. In this video, I've got some massive updates for you. Not too many projects, but I wanted to cover some in depth and give you a sort of heads up on a few things that are going on as well. That being said, it's super late here and I will not have time for an AMA tonight, but I will do one tomorrow, so stay tuned. We'll make sure we cover that this weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I plan on making a bunch of videos. So before we get into it, just remember, nothing I say is financial advice, and we have a private group. If you're interested, check that out in the description below. And I really want to thank you guys. We finally hit 9,000 subscribers. Really appreciate it. It's been quite a while since I've had this YouTube channel. Seen tremendous growth and engagement. Tons of appreciation to you guys, and I will continue to bring you guys content that you want. So probably the biggest news over the last 24 hours is this new Denkun upgrade. So you've probably seen this word blobs thrown about. Basically, what's happened is the prices of gas on the L2 chains has come down significantly as a result of this change. Of course, in a perfect world, Ethereum's gas price would go down too. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But Arbitrum, Optimism, and Coinbase, you can see here exactly how much those gas prices have gone down, base all the way down to a penny. So it's incredible. When people talk to me about Ethereum and tell me, well, Ethereum sucks and it's just not worthwhile, there's a ton of work being done on the L2s to make Ethereum great again. I know it's like mega instead of MAGA. And the reality is, it's going to be a long time until the actual Ethereum chain gets better. But it doesn't matter because we want to sort of make it everywhere else. And hey, while this stuff is going on, while they explore the technology, that is our opportunity to make the big bucks. I've told you guys so many times my opinion on L2s. That is truly the best way or the best place to do your airdrop farming. There's a reason ZK Sync and Scroll and Linear are the top of the list. So pretty much most of the L2's prices have gone down. I know Jonathan Matthews asking. I'm pretty sure the price of Linear has gone down significantly as well. This applies to all the L2s. So it's pretty good. Now, the first thing I want to get into right now is HDRO protocol. So Hydro Finance has their airdrop. This is one of many wallets that I have. And sort of what's going on here is that, I've got like 250 or 350 tokens available to me in, I think it's on the 19th. Yeah, so the 19th of March, so just 5 days away. But as you guys know, we have been talking about this launch pad. So I want to give you an update on what's happened, sort of the strategy, and sort of also show you behind the scenes of what happened in the actual private group. So you guys remember I sort of highlighted this. I talked about the potential. At the time, I believe the last video I made on this, the potential was around 300% subscription, and it's an overflow model. So instead of going through all the strategic details, I can just sort of put this up on screen, and this is what the private group saw, which was basically, here's the launch pad, here's sort of what you've got to do, here's the strategy behind launch pads, and basically what that means is an overflow launch pad allows funders to see the results before they get in, so you don't have to get in right away. In this case, if you staked a minimum of 10 injected with a validator, you could put as much injected up to 500 as you wanted, as long as it was above 10. And then based on sort of how much was subscribed, you got a refund. At the end of the day, when I wrote this, it was 440% subscribed. I had even said, hey, at this point, I won't be changing my decision. The only downside is I might get busy, or I sort of might have my internet go down, and I might miss out. And basically for them, it was sort of their decision when to decide if they wanted to enter or not. Well, the way this whole thing played out was the Hydro Launchpad was oversubscribed by 1,100%, which means for every 11 injective tokens that I subscribed, I only used one to buy Hydro tokens, and the rest was refunded to me. So what I had done was I had subscribed 180.3 injective, and basically what happened was 80 something percent, what was it, like 91% came back to me. The rest was split among basically Hydro token, and it was weird, they put you in Hydro injective LP. So what you had to do, and I told the group, you had to actually go to the vaults, and if you haven't done it yet, let's say you're part of this and you haven't claimed, the first thing you do is go to the Launchpad. Over here, if you haven't claimed, it'll have a claim button. Once you've claimed, go to the vaults, go to the Hydro injective vault here. If you have an LP token, you would have my holdings. If you do, you click on remove. What had happened actually was there was some issues with microfinance, and they had some discrepancies around the sort of LP tokens. So some people who were affected on their withdrawals, like in my case, I got $300 less. So they airdropped me sort of the remainder, or they sort of put that in my wallet. And basically I was just sort of taking profit. So if we go back to this, you can see here that we paid 0.0023 something injective. This came out to like 10 or 11 cents. And the launch price, like right now, if I look at this, if I look at Hydro, and so this is Helix app. Helix app, by the way, is probably the best place to swap your Hydro token. It's currently 18.7 cents. I actually was selling it around 23.5 to 22, 21 cents. So I sold my 5,900 something Hydro token. I didn't get that much because it only ended up giving me about 11-ish, 11.1 injective worth of token, but I walked away with 9.9 injective, or around 88% profit from this. So that was pretty good. It was about like a free $400, so couldn't complain. But really sort of what I want to reemphasize here is the strategy behind an overflow model is incredible. Probably the most fun I had about this entire thing was doing it with the group. So we were all sitting there talking about strategy and sort of kind of, just pumping ourselves up as we were taking profits and winning, right? So it's nice to just get free wins, and this was a pretty no-brainer move. Now, it didn't do the 3 to 7x that I was hoping for, but hey, I'm okay with just doubling my money. I think a lot of that has to do with sort of MAT1, sort of massive over dilution with the oversubscribe, but also not enough demand for this specific protocol, because there is a ton of airdrops coming on the 19th. And I wanted to sell out of all of my tokens before we got further diluted on the 19th. And if the price had gone up significantly, well, I've got another inflow of a couple thousand tokens on the 19th, so I'm not worried about it. So the next thing I want to talk about is Crypto Valleys. Crypto Valleys is a really new GameFi game that I brought up on the channel before. And this is really relevant because they had their LGE. So people call it TGE for token generation. LGE is liquidity generation. And they were charging 15 cents per token for yield. So what I did was basically I told the group, hey, we're going to get in, or I'm going to get in. I'm going to put in 0.2 ETH. And then I literally started seeing it sort of sell out super fast, super fast. And what I had done was I just started buying it on multiple wallets. I ended up, what did I spend? Maybe like 0.8 something, 0.85 ETH on it. And basically the price of the yield token, it did really well. So right now it's sitting at 23 cents. So that's basically 60%. But, it was around like 27, 26 cents. So I sold 5,000 in that area earlier today. And, I sold it sort of all across like this area too. So before it sort of had the crazy dump. So it was pretty interesting. I walked away with, I think it was 0.62 or 0.63 Ethereum. That comes out to $1,800. Once again, remember, this is not an airdrop. I mean, there is an airdrop coming. I've also qualified for that on here. But once again, we take advantage of the move. And all we do is we are looking to capitalize. Remember, if 15 cents is the sort of entry price, that's right here. Anybody who had bought the token is up significantly. Like, doesn't matter. So this is why it's so important to not just look at airdrop, but see, hey, is there a way for me to get into something like this that is going to be like secure? And the number one way I look at that, and I want you guys to remember this, is just take a look at demand. If something is like really, really like, selling out fast, more than likely, you're going to like get at least 50% extra on your money. That's a basic rule. Obviously, you got to be careful that, you're not being manipulated. So you sort of have to take a look at this stuff. But, I had seen this project for a while, for the last month and a half. I participated in their airdrop campaign on their testnet, and it just seemed like seemed on the up and up. Now, if you're wondering what to do, I've included sort of the details for all of these. So this was sort of what that generation event looked like. But once you're done, if you actually want to sell your token, you have to go into the game, and you'll have to go click on LGE. When you click on LGE, it will bring up this, and you'll get to claim. So on this wallet, I had 0.58 ETH, 15,000. You claim it, you're good to go. If I click on this, it shows me, I got like 112 tokens to claim for the airdrop later. And basically, that's pretty much all you got to do. And then you go to this website. This website gives you the contract address for the token. You click on this to add it to your clipboard. Then you go to Thruster. Thruster is the DEX of choice on Blast for this. You then paste the address here. It'll add the yield token, and once you do that, you can do the swaps. So that was pretty much it. Pretty easy, and you can see here like the token price is fluctuating. This rise right here was when the game went live. So it went from 23 cents all the way up to 28 cents. And then like it had a massive dump because there's a ton of whales in here, right? So like, I'm not here trying to get addicted to these games. I'm here to literally make money. And that's what I did. So I don't have any yield token anymore. I've sold out of all of it. I'm out of it with a plus 0.62 ETH. And that 0.62 ETH is, let me just do the math actually and see what it looks like. 0.62 ETH in USD. That's $2,296 US. Jonathan Matthew, my recommendation, your minting cost, that seems incredibly high. I would take a look at Rabby Wallet and make sure it's being optimized, and also if it's actually the gas fee or the minting cost, because a gas fee is very different, right? A minting cost might be a standard charge that the protocol is charging you. You want to make sure you know the difference. So one more thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I think I'm going to disagree with some of the content creators out there who are talking about Strait Dimension and why it's good. I actually think this is horrible. And you're probably surprised because, I think I was the first one to talk about STTia like 10 minutes after it went live. And I believe we did a live stream when the snapshot was being taken. I remember that day I used my lunch to make the video. Well, I'm going to show you the big comparisons here and why I am not moving forward with this, and the same reason why I told the group I wasn't moving forward with this. Number one, you got to just look at what we're actually competing for. So they're saying it's similar to the ongoing STT airdrop. However, they're only giving 2,000 Stride token per day for a total of 250K, right? For me, that's terrible. That's actually horrible. Now, all the other stuff here doesn't really matter. This is all nuanced, whatever. If you take a look at STTia, the reason I like STTia, and I remember that morning they had posted about DYDX, I said no because it was trash. In this case, for STTia, they were giving out 50,000 Stride tokens per day for the first 60 days, and then 22.2K Stride tokens. But for this, they're giving 2,000, basically 5 days of SETIA total is how much they're giving over 120 days. And that makes it really tough because when you're competing for that liquidity and that position, how are you going to get your fair share? If I take a look at my STT airdrop, over here, I have 75. That is, for me, 37, 38 of it came from the first day's snapshot. Now, today, if I was to qualify, I would have needed, because of the math, what you do is you go to DeFi Llama, right? I put the link in the description. You go to Stride, you look at the total TVL. Dimensions up here at 1.86 million. I did the calculation before. In order to get one Stride token, you get one Stride token for every like $900 of ST Dimension. And that's on day one. That's as good as it's going to get. It's likely going to get even worse over time as this goes up to probably like $4 or $5 million in TVL. And that just makes it not worth my while because I'm probably, if I put $900, day one, I get one Stride token. Day two, I probably get 0.2 Stride token. And then I'm still like sort of subject to those lockup kind of issues. And not just that, like if I go back to the liquid staking and I do it, we know that there's a sort of, period of unbonding. Yes, they may kind of circumvent that through osmosis. And then, then I think you'll be, probably better when that goes live. But even still, who cares? Because you're not going to get the rewards from the validators. Does that make sense? So for that reason and that reason alone, I've sort of passed on this. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, this is amazing. I think it's a terrible opportunity. I think there are way better things you can do with your money. In fact, I would rather, just put that money on blast and let it earn points for me to farm their airdrop than put it in here and get like next to nothing in terms of Stride. That's just me though. Sounds like, it's a lot better for you there, Jonathan. So I'm happy to hear that, you found it at $2.36. That's not bad, especially for Linea. So the next thing I want to talk about, you probably remember this, Manta Network. They're back. They're back with, they didn't screw people enough last time. So this time they're back with a vengeance. They're here with their renew paradigm. They're so lazy, they couldn't even come up with a new name. They just added RE to the front of it. And they're hoping that you've forgotten how they've treated you. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's not so bad. I did okay, so I'm okay signing up. Listen, I made a ton of profit off Manta. But I think for me, it was dumb luck. I split referral fees with people, or I split referral rewards with people, and I got lucky and I opened personally my own box where I got like some good NFTs that sort of, made me go up, even though I had to sort of pay a premium to kind of get rid of my stone token at the end. Well, this time they're back and they want you to stake a ton of Manta token. I believe it was like 500. You've got to stake. Honestly, I signed up for this just to see what's going on. I am not going to participate in this. I am not going to give out a code. I am not going to promote this. I think this is terrible. And I think anybody who will tell you, hey, check this out, get into this, they don't have your best interest at heart. And there's two things that really pissed me off about this. Number one, Layer Bank. Layer Bank has probably showed themselves to be I don't want to say they're sort of spineless scumbags, but they haven't even rewarded anyone from the first Manta Network campaign. We are now 2 months after that, and they still are choosing to ignore it and go, oh, well, it's Manta's fault. It's Manta's fault. But they're the ones cashing in on Manta's promises, going, yo, guys, check this out. Come in, use a referral code, do all this stuff. And they're not holding Manta accountable. In fact, all they're doing is taking advantage of the free liquidity they're getting, because if you never pay people for it, that is free. And that's what I'm seeing with Layer Bank. Layer Bank has not reimbursed anyone for Manta from the first campaign. However, they did it for the Celestia, but they haven't done it for anything else. And what's even more egregious, and I want you guys to know about this, and shout out to River Ryan. Basically, he flagged, because I didn't realize this, but the Manta Network is actually using the reward pool from the new paradigm, like kind of rewards. They should not be allowed to do that. What they've done is instead of paying people out for the last one, they're like, oh, hopefully people don't know, and we're just going to change the language a bit and reward people from the same pool. That way we don't have to give out any more, and we're just going to take away from people. Imagine doing that. So basically what happened is he's saying users have staked Manta ETH stone for months now in Layer Bank Fi, expecting rewards when new paradigm finish, which is this month. Now we're being told if we actually want these rewards, we have to restake and wait another 69 days. Oh, and the rewards will obviously be diluted further. So this is sort of the initial post, which is special rewards 5 million will go towards special activities distribution as well as partner support. 4.2 million Manta tokens will be distributed, and sort of they said, benefiting new paradigm users. All of a sudden, new press release comes out. They hope people don't know. Oh yeah, 3 million Manta from the new paradigm special rewards unlocked for a new paradigm. They just randomly shifted this, and this is exactly what my issue was last time. I'm pretty sure they made changes during the campaign. They weren't very clear at all around like the timing and how all of this worked. And this is exactly what they're doing again. And I honestly, I am not going to get involved this time. I am not going to talk about them. So if you're wondering why I'm not doing it, doesn't matter. I don't have a referral code to give you because I wouldn't want my worst enemy getting into this. And finally, the last thing I'll say here is, I know, talking about protocols that people don't like, Satoshi VM is going live on their mainnet tomorrow. I say this, and the reason this is very important is some of you listened and you had donated some of your test BTC, right? The ones you get from your faucet. So you will be receiving SAVM very, very shortly if that's the case, because they basically found a way to say, hey, we're going to reward people who gave back. They were very clear on that, and they said they would do that when the mainnet launched. So probably not on day one, but pretty much soon after. I know, I see in the comments here, people say Manta is for whales. It is. I think Manta is actually more for influencers. Manta sort of uses these referral systems to try to get influencers to just shamelessly show this onto their audience. Now, there's one thing if you can sort of provide value to your audience by giving them your link. It's another thing if you're literally just doing it knowing full well that it's going to harm your audience. And that's why, number one, I'm not getting into it. And number two, I don't want you guys, I'm not going to give you any sort of code or anything to enable you guys to join. I think Manta is absolute trash. I don't like anything they've done. I didn't like anything they did the first time. And these guys have not learned their lesson. I literally will stay away from them as much as possible. Like I said, I'm not wishing them ill will, but honestly, I don't give a shit if they do well or not. Doesn't matter to me. These guys are not good people, and neither is Layer Bank, in my opinion. I think Layer Bank is also a bunch, I don't want to say fraudsters because they're not like that, but they are really like taking advantage of the opportunity and really not really paying people out. And they don't take the accountability to say, hey, it's also on us. If you're going to advertise and say, hey, Manta is going to support our people who deposit to us, and then when they don't pay you eventually, you go, well, it's not our fault. We were told, blah, blah, blah. And then you go and do another campaign with them and you still haven't paid your users from the first one. Like, what kind of joke is that? It's like seriously a joke. So that's sort of what I wanted to talk about, guys. Like, thanks again. I see Benny's here saying congrats, buddy. It's huge. Love your first sub. I'm so pumped that we're growing fast. I'm here to bring value to you guys. Just keep letting me know what you want to see. And I'll be back this week, or I'll be back Friday and this weekend to make more videos, and we'll talk about the space. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. That really helps me out. Share the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good night.